the engine mount. This will be our first of a series of connections to connect the tubes to assemble the paramotor. We're going to start with the top frame connection. Make sure you're on top view. Left click on sketch, left click top plane, left click center point circle, hover over the center, drag that out. And now we're going to drag that out again. So we're making two circles. One's going to be 0.77. So just like we made the tubes 0.73, we're going to make these a little bit larger than they normally would be because this PLA will shrink. We want very little resistance when we assemble the parts. Left click on the outer edge, drag that out, and we want that outer circle, outer diameter, to be 1 inch. Now let's close that out. Left click on the edge here, left click front plane. Left click on the sketch tool, left click front plane. Left click on the line tool, left click in the center, drag that out, pull that away, hit escape. Let's left click on the dimension tool, left click on that line. Once it highlights, pull that away. Make that 5 inches. Hit enter, and then use your wheel on the mouse to scroll out, and let's close that out. And let's go over and left click on sweep, left click on both of those circles, make sure they both highlight, and then make sure it's solid, new. We selected both circles, left click on swept path, select the line, and that's going to form your first tube of this connection. Close that out. So now we're going to go back to front plane. We're going to left click sketch, left click front plane, left click center point circle, highlight the center, drag that up, left click, drag that out, hover over the center again, left click, drag that out, come up to the dimension tool, left click on this outer circle, let's make that 1 inch, left click on the inner circle, let's make that 0.77, and then left click on this line, left click on the bottom part of the tube, pull that away. Let's do 2.5 inches right in the center. So now we're going to left click on our front plane. Let's go ahead and close that sketch out. Let's go over to extrude. We want solid, new, faces to extrude. Left click on sketch 26, you see them over here in the features, or you can come over and highlight both, but it's going to be easier to just click on that sketch. It's going to extrude that out. And now let's go 2.5 inches here on length. Hit enter. There we go. You can close that out. Over to the right plane. We're going to create another circle here. Left click sketch, left click right plane, left click center point circle, hover over the center, drag that up, drag that out, left click again, left click on the dimension tool, left click here, let's go 1 inch, left click center circle, 0.77, hit enter. Left click on the center of that line, left click here, let's drag that out, let's go 2.5, hit enter. Close that sketch out, let's go left click, over to extrude, select sketch 27 from the features list. You notice that goes out, but we want that to be symmetric. Let's set that at 1.1 inches, just a little bit greater than what that other one was so we could see it. Yeah, let's set that at 1.1. That'll be good. We're going to need to clean that out. So we're going to go left click sketch, left click right plane, left click center point circle, hover over the center. Let's bring that out, and we want that to be 0.77. So left click on dimension tool, left click on that one we just created, and we're going to go 0.77, hit enter. We're going to select the center of that circle we just created. We're going to go 2.5 just to make sure it's still centered up where we need it. Close that out, go to extrude. I'm going to go to isometric so we can see this. We want solid, remove, select what we just created. We want it to go out an inch, 1.1, exactly what we did. We want it symmetric so that it will remove everything that's in there. And we want it to merge with part 12, which is what we're working on. So these other parts, we don't need those to go all the way through, right? So those can be closed off. The motor mount is going to stop here. The top harness tube will stop here on one side, and then that front frame tube will stop here. And then we need the back frame tube to come through. Let's go to right view just to look at this. Go down to part 12, right click, hit rename. We're going to call this the top frame connection. There we go. Right click on that again. Hit edit appearance. Silver, close that out. Actually, let's change that color. Right click on that, edit appearance, and let's make these black, because that's what they're going to look like. In reality, they're going to, when we print these off, they're going to be in black PLA, so at least we can make them look exactly like we're going to go to right plane again before we move on to make the next part. Left click sketch, left click right plane. We're going to go up here and left click center point circle. We're going to drag that up. We're going to create a hole here and a hole here. We want these to be about 1/4 of an inch. So I'm going to come across here. So we've got our 3 center point circles. We're going to use these for bolt holes or also for rivet holes. And we want to go ahead and have those into the part before we move along. So let's left click on the dimension tool. Let's go 0.25. Let's go 0.25 here. 0.25. So we're going to need to set the distance from the edge. I think about 1/2 inch would be good. So let's left click on that. Let's see what that is. All right, let's just go 0.75. 0.75. That'll be far enough in to give plenty of distance. And we'll do that for each one of these. 0.75. So we got dimension tool, left click center, left click line. We'll go 0.75 there. I'm just going to move some of these around so that it's easy to tell what we're looking at. All right, so we've got those. Let's left click the check mark. We can see those center point circles. Left click extrude. We want solid remove. These are 1 inch deep, so we're going to go 1.5 inches. And we want that to be symmetric. And we want that to be with sketch 29. Let's close that out and see if it made those holes. It did. They go all the way through, so we're good. All right, good. So we can move on to our next part. Let's go top view. Left click sketch, left click top view, left click center point circle, drag that out. Let's make another one. Left click dimension tool, let's make that 1 inch. Let's make this one 0.77. Very similar process. All right, so we've got the circles created. Let's go to front view. Drag that down. Left click sketch, left click front view, left click line tool, drag that away. Hit escape, go up, select the dimension tool, drag that out, go 5 inches. Close that. Let's go to isometric view. Let's go to sweep. Select the circles, both of them. Select swept path, then hover over the line. Select that. We got it. Good. Let's go to front plane. Drag that down. Left click sketch, left click front plane. left click center point circle, use that dashed line to stay in the center of the tube, make 2 circles, left click on the dimension tool, come out 1 inch, inner diameter 0.77, select the center of the circle, select this line, drag that out. We want that to be 2.5 inches right in the center. Close that out. Now we're going to extrude. We want to select that. It needs to be solid, new. We're going to go 2.5 inches. Then we'll close that out. All right, good. So let's go to right plane, drag that down, left click sketch, left click right plane, left click center point circle. Let's start in the center. Let's bring one of those here, one there. So on this one, I did not see the yellow dashed line. That's okay. I'll show you another way to make sure it's centered up. To the dimension tool, these need to be 1/4 inch, 0.25, 0.25. 0.25. Good. Now I'm going to select the center of that line, and these are going to be 0.75. That's going to need to be about 2.5 inches from the bottom. That'll center that up for us. But we also need that to be 3/4 of an inch from the edge, so 0.75. And now we can extrude. So I'm going to go up here to the edge, go to isometric view. We'll go to extrude, solid, remove, make sure it's remove. And we want to select sketch 33. You notice we get these red lines here because it's not merging with the part that we want, because we've actually got 2 parts that we created. We need those to merge together. So let's close that out. This will allow us to use, and I thought that was odd that this was a different color. This will allow us to use a tool we haven't used yet. So select both of those and go right click, boolean. Now they're one part. So it's asking us, do we want to combine part 13 and 14? And yes, we do. So now we have one part. Now we should not have an issue. Extrude, solid, remove. Faces to extrude, we want sketch 33. Now it looks correct. We need to make sure that that is going to go far enough. So let's go 1.5 inches, because those are 1 inch thick. We need it to be symmetric. So, and there, those bolt holes are created. We can close that out now. Isometric view. Right click part 13. Let's rename it. And that's going to be our tri-connection. Click on that. Let's go edit appearance. Let's make that black, because that's the color they're going to be. Let's go to top view. Scroll in. Left click sketch. Left click on the top plane. Left click center point circle. Make sure you hover over the center to get this centered up. Then go left click dimension tool, select the outer part of that line and go 0.77. We'll close that. Now we're going to go back to isometric view and let's choose extrude, select sketch 34. We're going to want to clean all of that out so that a tube could slide through there. So let's just go 5 inches, because this is 5 inches in length. Let's go 5.1 just to be safe. 5.1. And let's go remove. And we need it to go the other direction and close that out. Now let's look through there. Yeah, so now that has cleaned out that part. Now on this one you can't see all the way through, but we don't need that tube to go all the way through this tri-connection. Got the tri-connection complete. Now we very similar process on this one. This is going to be our base connection, our front base connection. Left click, sketch, left click top view, left click center point circle. Make sure you hover over the center, drag that out. Make another one, left click on the dimension tool, pull that away. That's going to be 1 inch. left click on the center one, 0.77, close that out. Isometric view, we're going to extrude this instead of sweeping it because it's going to be a shorter piece. Left click, extrude, left click on those lines that we just created. We want to be solid new, but we do want to make it symmetric so it's in the center of those planes. Left click, symmetric, so close that out. To front plane, left click sketch, left click front plane, left click center point circle, hover over the center, drag that out, make another one. Left click dimension tool, make that 1 inch. Left click the center circle or inner diameter, 0.77. Go to isometric view, and we're going to extrude again. Close that sketch out. Select extrude. Select sketch 36 from over here in the features. We want that to be 2.5 inches. So 2.5. So we've got solid, add. Instead of new, do add, and it'll just keep adding it to the part. That's where we messed up last time, where we had to combine parts because we did solid new. So close that out. Right plane, left click, sketch, left click right plane, left click center point circle, hover over the center, drag that out. Let's make another inner diameter. Left click dimension tool, left click on the outer diameter, hit 1, left click inner diameter, 0.77, hit enter. Close that out, go to isometric view, go to extrude, so it should be solid. We want to select sketch, it automatically goes to add, but we just want sketch 37. 2.5 inches as well, so we want that to be 2.5 inches, same length, good, and it does not need to be symmetric. So let's close that out. Now, these parts, these tubes don't need to go all the way through. The front part of that frame is going to connect in here. So let's go left click sketch, left click top plane, left click center point circle, drag that out, left click on dimension tool, left click on the outer diameter and go 0.77, hit enter. Close that out, back to isometric view, left click extrude, go solid remove, select sketch 38. We want that to be, let's just make that symmetric so it'll cut all the way through. We'll make that 2 inches. So we've got extrude 17, solid remove, faces of sketch 38. It's a circle we created, and that's going to cut that out. We did 2 inches in depth and symmetric just to make sure it goes all the way through. Good. So we've got that piece. Left click sketch, left click on the top plane, left click center point circle. Let's start in the center and drag that down. We've got that dashed line. Let's create our bolt holes. We'll do the same thing over here. All right, good. So let's go ahead and align those. Let's hit the dimension tool, 7.5. Do the same thing here. Want that one to be 0.75, hit enter. And let's go close that out in the isometric view. Left click extrude. And let's go remove. Let's go 1.5 inches. And let's make sure we've got the sketches highlighted. So it goes through part 14. Let's make that symmetric. And then close that out, and we've got those bolt holes. Let's go sketch. Let's just go over to right plane and see if it lets us do it there. Yeah, it'll work either way. Let's just go to left plane. So left plane, it's going to say right because we're just on the opposite side. Left click here, but this will give us a good visual of what it's going to do. Drag that out. left click on the dimension tool, left click here, that needs to be 0.25. We've got to go check those other bolt holes and make sure that we resize those. I don't think we did. All right, good. Go to isometric view, close that out, go to extrude, solid remove. We want that to be an inch, and we want it to merge with that sketch we just created. Good, that's going through. We don't need it to be symmetric because we just need it to come out that side, and that'll give us a point where we can insert a rivet. I want to look at that, that's what I thought. So I forgot to resize these. Left click here, left click on the outer diameter, pull that away. They were close, but we want to make sure it's the correct size. Oops, 0.25, hit enter. I don't know why my fingers aren't working today. There we go. And same thing over here. We were close on that one. Reason those did not move around before, like the other ones, when we started to resize, they started moving around. It's because we already had them constrained by setting how far they had to be away from the edge of this part. We don't need to go back and redo extrude. It'll save it as is. To part 14, right click, rename. Let's go front base connection. Hit enter. Let's go right click, edit appearance. Let's go black, close that out.